Hello, 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 and welcome to a fantastic cast, guys, presented to you by IPL. They have hooked me up with this cast, man. It's for the IPL caster search, and we've got two great players that I get to bring the action to. I'm so happy, man. This is so cool. We actually just had Mana, I believe, who is our Protoss player in the bottom left corner from the team Mouse, just win a tournament, man. Spoiler alert, he just won ESWC. Took out 4GG 2-0. Beat him pretty nicely. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch the replays, but I did get to see a few of his PVZs. He actually played pretty nicely. Man, I'm not really known for his PVZ. Not the strongest player in the matchup, but he's made a few alterations that have made him just a tad bit better. And he's also been metagaming Zergs a little bit from what I saw. So, we'll point those out later on as I go ahead and introduce you to the top right corner. Going to be Vortex, your purple Zerg player. Of course, Vortex, brother of Lucifron. From Spain, they both hail. Had a nice showing a couple months ago, actually. Oh my gosh, time flies fast. A little over a month and a half ago. Of course, WCS took second to Sifano, if I remember correctly. I think his brother took third as well. He actually got really popular around then. I believe he got a Fight Club as well from IPL. I think he lost, but it was against a Korean Protoss player. I think, I want to say Squirtle that's who he played, but it was like 5-3, 5-2, something like that. He got a couple of good matches on him. But Vortex opening up here with a 15 pool. That's very, very standard. But again, like going back to Mana, as I was mentioning, PVT is his bread and butter, but PVZ is slightly becoming his jelly, if you will. He's getting a tad bit better at it. I've been watching his gameplay over the last weekend. I was able to watch a few of his matches in between a couple of tournaments. There were a lot this weekend. Gosh, November is ridiculous when it comes to StarCraft this month. But his observer placement is really allowing him to metagame Zerg opponents. Lately, we've been having a lot of greedy play with Ling pokes at the third for Zerg players, and then of course they just kind of sit around, they get infestors out, defend against any pushes that might be coming, and then of course get Hive and Spire set up. And then from there they move towards, of course, Hive Tech, get the Broodlords out, and then it's just a waiting game, try and get a better engagement nonetheless. A nice fungal, Broodlords follow up, and then with some supporting units try and just kill off the whole entire Protoss unit, army. And Mana's been just pre-actively staying away from that type of composition from Zerg. He'll put an Overlord above the hatchery. He'll leave it like on this creep in a little itty-bitty spot, and actually it's really hard to see an observer if it doesn't move over creep because the texture is constantly moving by itself. A little just exploit that he's using. And from there, he'll just leave that observer there the whole entire time, literally. And then as soon as he sees the Hive start up, he immediately starts up a fight. Starts moving out across the middle of the map, gets Sentries and Mortals, of course, get some Colossi tech on the field, and he'll just go, man. If he has two Colossi, he doesn't even care. As soon as he's Hive started up, he goes, which is so smart because, of course, Zerg pulls up so many resources at that moment. So potentially they'll just straight up die out before they even get the tech out that they want. So something to note from Mana. Now, of course, there was a 15 pull into a hatchery, and now we have a third hatchery already on the way here for Vortex. Just moving up in the economy game. Knows his opponent's gone for the natural. We'll be turtled up for a little bit. Very, very standard here. Ooh, nice. 7 score on the high ground. I like that play. We've been actually having a lot of Zerg players. If they do open up with that Roach Warren, it used to be just more of a, I guess, defensive capability, and also an attack on the third whenever they went Roaches first. But now we've been having Roaches a little bit earlier lately, and they'll get 7 to 8 Roaches, and they'll try and poke off a forward, try and poke off a Cybernetics core, something to slow down Protoss. By putting that Cybernetics core on the high ground, makes it easier for Mana to, of course, keep warping in Sentries, Stalkers, and a little bit harder for it to be picked off. So, nice choice there. Third about to finish up for Vortex. Keeping those Overlords moving across the middle of the map. Should be having gases very soon. Usually you'll see 2. 3 if they want to move up into lair a little bit quickly. Get a Roach Warren at the same time as you start that third gas, and you'll kind of get speed started up afterwards as well. Usually you go speed, lair, and then of course grabbing Evolution Chamber down in your natural and start moving up in upgrades. So, looking over into Mana, he started +1 already. And I'm going to keep an eye on his gas timings here. We got 2 gases at the moment. Interesting. If we see a third and fourth gas, that of course will let us know it'll be a bit of a Stargate timing. Oh, he's actually going to go in for an expansion. Wants to get a little bit early here, after potentially some scouting, get an idea of what there's gone for. Wants to make sure the third is up, and he actually has scattered it. So, wouldn't mind seeing a third very, very soon for Mana. Actually, with him Chrono boosting out a Stalker and Zealot, he wants to get some aggression onto that third. If he can get over here, poke off a Queen, get 4, 5, 6 drones, definitely worth the trade here. Slows down production a little bit, of course, hurts the economy of your opponent, and also forces a lot of lings out. You'd be amazed at how many Zergs will actually overcompensate for a Stalker and Zealot, because it is a scary composition, actually. So go ahead and watch this as we have the Zealot moving towards the Queen. Going to go ahead and get in the mineral line here so you can use drones for defense. One drone gets away with nice HP, nice micro here from Vortex. Gets a third drone, finally just pick one off there. So 2 in the low HP, if you can maybe get that to be nice. He's going straight for the Queen, though. The Queen is low on HP. The drone's going to try and get this around. Unfortunately, will not. Nice micro there from Mana. And he retreats. Nice. He gets a Queen for a Zealot. And the Stalker should get away. No speed quite yet. It has been started. We have 1 gas, 2, 3 gases here for Vortex. So wouldn't mind seeing a Roach one very, very soon here from him. Oh, actually, he's got one nice finished up. Starting up speed. And we should have Lair very, very soon. Nice play here from Mana, though. Checking the harvesters really quick, guys. 52 to 46. Man, Mana has been staying on top of that production of probes. Gonna need a third very soon here, or he's gonna be a little bit on the oversaturated side. 3 gates, it looks like. Added on to the one earlier, so I have a total of 4 plus that robo. So getting observers on the field here. Gonna having a total of 2 very soon. Where's the first observer? There it is. Just took out an Overlord. Nice choice there, getting rid of the Overlord on the little plateau here. Lets you stop your opponent from counting gas. So observer heads out immediately. Gonna go ahead and check out his third, see if an early 4th has been taken. Always nice to know when that 4th does go up, and potentially gonna go ahead and beeline straight to the natural slash main. Get an idea of tech, get an idea of gas timing, get an idea of this layer timing. And it's about to finish up very, very soon. Now I'm curious to see what Vortex is going for. Where's his evolution chambers? He actually doesn't have any on the field that I see. So he actually might just rush straight into a hive very, very quickly, which seeing a lot of Zergs do. Saw Chef do it over this last weekend. Hold that thought though really quick. Vortex does come into the third. A little bit of a force field there to slow down his opponent. Mana should be throwing up a couple of gateways here. Try and prevent that from being walled off so he can focus on his natural. And here we go, running straight into the natural, but a warp in and a probe on hold position. Mana will prevent that from happening. No Zerglings do get in the natural. That would be potentially pretty deadly. Only 1 photon cannon and a pylon that actually could have been sniped. And nice, of course, probes. A lot of units being warped in from Mana now. Really starting his production here. 1-1 will be finished for him very, very soon. Now remember, we have no upgrades for Vortex quite yet. There we go, starting a double evolution chamber and moving into an infestation pit. Actually, Mana could have a timing to attack this 4th. Infestors won't be out for a while. We'll see what he does here. There's only a decent amount of roaches on the field, but with an immortal on the field and another on that way out, I would actually start moving out with 2 or 3 immortals and go straight for that 4th, poke it off, and then move back. That would slow Zerg down so much from moving straight into Broodlord tech, and if they do, of course, get me pretty low on a certain unit, whether it be Broodlord, of course, Corruptor, or of course Infestors. So we'll see what the plan is for Vortex as his 4th is up. Mana has established his 3rd. He's good to go on that area. Other gateways are now finishing up and getting a 3rd immortal. I hope he doesn't play defensively. I really hope he starts to move forward because this is definitely an easy snipe for him. At the moment, Vortex is just kind of floating around the map, keeping control, grabbing Zelnaga, of course, and hold that thought here. A couple of force fields do land, not the best force fields. There we go, the 3rd makes it a little bit easier for him. Gonna go ahead and engage. The Immortal is gonna be microed back. Very low on HP, but saved nonetheless from Mana. And this should trigger attack, man. 123 supply to 138, and yeah, he's gonna start moving out. Head in the top left corner, has an observer over this area as well, so you can see if any more units do come. Spinecraw is going down for Vortex. He knows he's in trouble. Just Ling Roach cannot handle this composition from Mana. Just moving straight for the hatchery. I like that choice. Gonna go ahead and pull down the production tab really quick so you guys can see the hatchery. There it goes, getting very low on HP, and it looks like Vortex is just gonna go ahead and sacrifice it. He can't defend it. He knows it. Production tab. We do have 7 Festers on the way, but it is too late. Man, if you pull back, I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love it. Or you're leaving Immortal here. Just dance, hang out on the side of the creep here. But he pulls back. Well done. He gets a hatchery for absolutely nothing, literally. A couple of force fields, of course. That's regenerable energy, and he saves his Immortal. Yes, that might go. Vortex sees it, man. Like a shark in the water, you run straight for it, but Man's going to go ahead and group up here, and Vortex is forced to retreat. Oh my gosh, he's got a hive done already. Where's his Spire? Oh, he didn't start his Spire. Oh, Vortex. Okay, so going for this 3rd, 4th, and of course this being on Ling and Roach composition allows you to move towards that Spire and Broodlord tech very, very early, but with him not throwing down that Spire when he started the hive, he's slowing down his Brood tech so darn much, man. That is so painful. Of course, he doesn't have as much gas as he would like, but having that tech available to him would have been great at this time. I'm guessing with his 4th being attacked, he was just a little bit preoccupied. So he's moving towards his opponent's 3rd. 163 to 135 supply. Nice little wall in, nice little chokes here available 4 mana. As you can see those little passageways here? Ling's going to be very easy to run into chokes and be taken out very quite nicely without much surface area. But here we go, Ling's running straight in. Zealots are taking the brunt of the damage. A couple of sentries do get poked off. Infested Terrans, though, here, going to make it a little bit easier for Vortex to do some more damage. Good to keep moving forward. And finally, the force fields do fall off, and he moves the rest of the roaches up here. He's pretty high in supply, but I would be a little bit careful if I was him. He's not going to be able to get great surface area. Guardian Shield has been popped. Ling's moving in as well, and they actually have been taken care of pretty nicely. Roach is just kind of stuck down here in the bottom right corner. Look, the majority of them aren't attacking. Finally, they do get on the action, but Mana doing a great defense. Force Field, of course, making it a bit easier for the units not to funnel in this top right corner. Mana does get supply blocked, and he loses his Nexus. Vortex is going to like that. Going to go ahead and retreat, and effectively, Mana is stuck on 2 bases here. So nice little attack, and he actually wanted to clean up a lot of supply so we can get this Greater Spire finished up and start moving towards Broodlords. But again, it's really delayed at the moment. Luckily, with it being delayed, it's going to be okay, though. He doesn't have any cast quite yet because of that 4th being taken down so early. So both players a little bit hurting in their economy compared to where they want to be at 15 minutes. But effectively even, essentially with both players sniping this 4th and, of course, this 3rd. Both players are just at a normal point that they would be at about 13 minutes. Just a little bit delayed again from the attack. So, feeling pretty nice. Vortex again. Going to establish his 4th, this time a little bit earlier with the Spine Crawlers, so be a bit harder for Mana to attack into him. And looking into Mana, he has switched into Colossi tech. He's got 1 on the field already, it looks like. Yep, 1 on the field, 4 Immortals. Pretty nice composition against Zerg, of course. The area effect damage is going to be quite nice. Roach is moving down to the bottom right corner, see if they can get a free pick off. Here, maybe get some probes or anything, and they won't be able to do anything and get denied. But Vortex is okay with losing these Roaches again. Just going to try and do damage. He wants to free up supply. As you can see, Corruptors are coming out, so wants some Broodlords. Top left corner, though, War Prism. Mana looking for a hidden base at any point. His opponent being on 4 base is a great position for him. He likes that, just wants to keep it that way. Roaches, once again, just taking out pylons, anything in the way. Just trying to be putting damage on his opponent. Unfortunately, won't do anything, but does clear up supply. So here we go. Broodlords now mixing into the mix for Vortex. Got a decent army, a decent amount of Corruptors, or Infestors here. God, I can't cast units, man, when under pressure. So we have the drone coming down in the bottom right corner as well. Going to try and establish that 5th base. I would like him to try and get the 6 up here. You want to kind of double expand when you get towards 5 and 6 bases, because Protoss really is going to spread themselves out too much to take out your hatcheries. Maybe send a few Zealots up there, which are pretty easy to deal with, as you can tell from Mana up here in the top left. 200 supply to 172. 4th, Nexus has finished up for Mana, and he's pretty decent on probes, 72 to the 71 of his opponent, so both players kind of where they're at when it comes to Harvesters. And let's go ahead and keep an eye really quick. We should be having a mothership very soon. There it is, actually, about to finish up. And we also have DTs in the mix as well, and here we go. A couple coming to the top right corner, going to try and move towards this 3rd, while at the same time we do have Vortex moving forward into the bottom 4th here. Need to spread these units out just a little bit better, Mana. But here we go. Queen gonna get sniped immediately. Gonna try and slow down the macro opportunities of the Zerg player. And Vortex is starting to shell away on this 4th. Another DT going into the natural / main, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on that. But the battle is currently happening outside of the 4th here. Takes down the pylons right away. This Nexus, he looks like he's gonna sacrifice it. He wants to just kill off these drones if possible. Finally, it looks like Vortex will deal with it. This Nexus is going to die off. It looks like another DT finally dealt with as well. Did they do much damage? Not really. Workers killed pretty low, actually, compared to normal. And a lot of PVZs. Usually have a lot of Zealot run-bys, of course. Lings run-bys as well. But both players doing very good on defense. But the 3rd is in trouble now. Mana's got to make a stand here. He's got his mothership here. Here we go. He's going to go ahead and throw some force fields down. Roaches are actually nice and clumped up for the Colossi to do damage, but there's only 3 on the field, it looks like. And here we go. Some fungals have been landed by the Infestors. Broodlords are actually going to be by themselves by a second. Archons are dealing with the Broodlings, which really isn't the most costly thing in the world, but it looks like the mothership is going to fall, and it does. But has Mana been able to defend this? He needs to get onto these Broodlords right away. Pulling out the production tab really quick. We do have 3-3 on the way for Vortex, and he's actually just bringing all of his units in. The Colossi are in trouble. A second one falls as well. A 3rd in trouble at the same time. And Vortex actually has Broodlords sitting over the 3rd, just shelling away on them, and I think Mana may have taken a lot of damage, but it looks like some Zealots did make it into the main as well. He's going to try and do some damage. It is dealt with by Vortex quite nicely. Lings following up here for Vortex, heading straight to the 3rd. Mana's in a lot of trouble. His Colossi actually quite bare, actually very naked, is going to be killed off very quickly, and it's just Stalkers against Broodlings and Zerglings win that battle any day, especially Immortals. That one lives for a couple of seconds. He breathes pretty heavily. He's like, yes, I won. And then he dies. Probe's in trouble now as well. A couple of photon cannons outside of the natural, but Mana is looking and like he's in a lot of trouble. He'll be able to wall off a little bit here. But again, so many units here for Vortex effectively on a total of 5 bases. His opponent stuck down to 2. In all reality, very low on resources. I feel very bad here for Mana. 60 to 58. And Harvesters didn't lose too much in those DT rush buys. 20. So it looks like a total of 12 drones were killed off, but it's okay. Vortex killed off 2 bases for it. Definitely worth that trade. Scouts in the top of the corner, finds a couple of Zealots, but Vortex in a nice commanding lead at the moment. Just needs to get a few more Broodlords on the field. Maybe a couple more Infestors, get a nice supporting army, and just gear up for another attack. Start getting poised outside of this natural. Start shelling away on these gateways, break down that artificial wall, and then from there just keep moving forward. What does Mana do, though? I mean, he's taking one step here. He's going to try and double expand, grab a 3rd and 4th. He's scouting around, looking for the army of Vortex, which, again, look, it's really starting to clamber up in numbers again. 178 to 104 supply. I don't know, man. I'm fearful. I'm fearful for Mana. I would really like him to have Psionic Storm on the field, and he hasn't researched it. He decided to go for pure Archon, which is great. If he gets a nice, like, a nice little Vortex on Vortex. Oh my God, that is hard to say. That's a tongue twister. And then, of course, just kills the arm off immediately and just falls into a great attack with War Prism support. But he's got such low supply here and very low on gas because of his 3rd and 4th being killed off. It's going to be really hard for him to move towards that number of Archons that he's going to need. Base speed and taking down the bottom right corner for Vortex. Really starting to group up again. Outside of this 4th, right above the ramp here. Getting a few more Broodlords on the field. How many does it have, actually? Currently has a total 7 Broodlords. With a number of Infestors. Look at that. Look at that. 11, man. 11 Infestors. Moving forward. Mana knows all of it. He's got an Observer sitting above his opponent's army. His 4th is going to be sacrificed. There's no way he can defend against this quite yet. Needs to get a few more units on the field. Needs Archon so desperately. Very low on gas here. Look at 200, 300 gas. I'm really scared for him. I'm going to go ahead and have a War Prism drop in the top left corner. Going to try and kill off a couple of drones. Spine Crawlers will kill those Zealots off right away. But these actually are taking a lot of damage. The ones at the 3rd of Vortex. But with Link support and, of course, Queens, he should be able to defend it quite nicely. At the same time, he's moving forward, as you can tell on the minimap. Running straight into the 4th right away. Archon's leading the charge. Gets a nice Vortex on the top left corner. I think he got about 7 of those Broodlords right away. Going to try and deal with the Roaches first. The Colossi, of course, going to be nice against them. Did he get the Archons into the Vortex? Did he do so? I think a couple did pop in there right away. Will it be enough, though? The Roaches actually taking a lot of damage, and the Infestors do pop out right away, and Mana just not having enough production, enough ground. Army, no Archons, nothing, just isn't able to kill everything as it pops out, and Vortex just wins that game with great attack, great play overall. Well done. Well done. Yeah, Mana, unfortunately, it looks like this game may have been before ESWC. His observer placement wasn't as key as I was mentioning earlier, and unfortunately he wasn't aware of the high tech. He had a great attack on that 4th, which effectively I feel like put him in a nice position. If he would have moved up in tech, maybe got Sonic Storm or maybe Archons a little bit earlier, instead of going for that 4th really early and maybe done another attack, he'd been okay, but oh well, man, nice play from Vortex. Hope to see him in the future more. I believe his next tournament is going to be at IEM. Tournament, I believe, is next week, if I remember correctly. Nonetheless, guys, this is Robin. Thanks very much for watching the cast. Hopefully you vote me into the IPL top 8. Other than that, have a great day. Hearts all around.